Yo, what is going on? Welcome to Hindsight is 2020. I'm BK. With me as always, Mr. Greg Nozar. What up, dude?
Hey, with those swimsuits, man, we ought to go try the NCAA Women's Championships for swimming, dude.
Oh God, dude. We
Let me go win ourselves a trophy, baby.
somebody out there that could Photoshop, please make us a new intro. Hurts me more and more every week I see that.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, man?
Dude, we got Oshi on the
Oshi's
cast
here,
too.
man.
Love it.
Oshi's here. We got Brad Case around. We got Matt Konitz around. We're all good, man. We're doing good, dude.
Well, right off the bat, we have a little dilemma because we made a bet last week
Yeah.
that if things did not go your way at the hair exchange, the first person to comment when we went live was going to win $50 worth of baits. But it's Jerry T, and we're already sending him $50 worth of baits off the other lost bet.
Yeah.
Are we doubling up on Jerry T? Is he getting $100 worth of baits now, or
Hey,
should
man.
we? Or Jerry, you know what, Jerry? We'll leave it to you. If you want $100 worth of baits, you got it. But if not, you can roll it down to whoever was next. I think that was John Mooney. So Jerry T, I leave it up to you. You can be, you can share the wealth or hoard
Hey,
it
we
up.
appreciate the we appreciate the love, man. We appreciate the
That's
love.
right.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Greg, man, how's your week been, dude? Talk to me. What's been going on?
Dude, it's been a week of ups and downs, man. I'll be honest with you, dude. It's good to get out of Harris Chain. I've been there for like 3 weeks. It's good to have new scenery. Looking forward to the Santee Cooper tournament, man. But trying to mix, with fishing, not being away from my family and working and everything else, man. It's really hectic, but hey, making the best of it, dude. Not complaining. Absolutely having a blast, man. That's what I love.
Dude,
so
yeah. Very cool. You got to, have a tournament, then just get right on to the next one. Also, Jerry T, what a cool dude, man. Thank you, Jerry. Seriously, dude, Jerry, your support's like you're always
awesome.
commenting, like I love it, dude. And John Mooney, you were number 2, so Greg will be sending you $50 worth of Greg Nozar's top baits that he'd like to send over. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So did you move the camper and all that up from Florida to South Carolina?
Yeah. So, because we got a full camper, man. We got myself, Brad, and Matt. We were actually having another guy stay, but he decided not to fish the tournament. So, making our way right on the lake on Santee Cooper here. And man, we've got basically a campground full of basically kayak fishermen, which is great.
That's awesome.
Greg Crass and Chris Catucci are here from Rhode Island Rebels. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
That's fun to say.
Yeah, Chris. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I've never met them in person, man, so I'm looking forward to seeing both of them. After the show is over, we're gonna head on over there and say hello.
That sounds awesome, man. John Mooney's got something to say.
That's true. So
what's
up,
true.
Jim?
Yeah, I was like, we gotta say hello to some people right quick, Greg, before we get too deep into this. Like Jim Louvier, what's up? Scott Shishelwicks, what's up, man? Also one of my favorite names to say. I never know if I say it right. John Fox, what's up? Stephen Bell, Adam Patrone, man, we had on the show last week.
So I got something. I got to tell you something. Just happened a few seconds ago.
Okay.
Matt is right over here, right? And he's got his van parked. He's got his rods laid out. This old guy comes out with his wife. They're walking the dog. Old guy comes in. And he's like, "Hey, man, what are you guys doing? You guys in a fishing tournament?" Well, I mean, obviously with rods laid out and kayaks and everything else, it makes it pretty obvious. Then the guy just starts picking up his rods, like out of the blue, like picking up his rods and like, "Hey, what's this?" and all this other stuff. I'm like, "Wait a minute, no. Is that a party foul? You don't just go up to some stranger and start picking up their junk, man."
I don't know. I feel like with the position Conant's in, because he's on like Crotalus rods, right?
Yeah.
That's a great time just to throw down on the product.
Man, but I don't want somebody to be picking up my stuff like that.
I'm not sponsored, but if I was, Dobbins, I would love to.
Johnson's definitely party foul. Like you ask, right? You ask to look at the rod. You just don't I don't walk up to Scott Martin's stuff and start picking rods out of his boat, man. You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't want that. You'd have Guggen Then you'd never catch a fish again. So you'd hate to see that all American trash.
I don't know, man. I just thought that was kind of like, man, that's kind of ballsy, man.
Definitely ballsy. And I would be more intimidated if Conan started speaking to me because he's got that Boston, accent.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we're gonna talk about a couple things, man, and we're gonna have a fun time because I'm gonna call some people out straight up, man. Like I'm gonna absolutely bust their tail because we're on a heater tonight, boys.
Yeah, and to be fair, Greg and I made our bet, and Greg, he'll let you know how he did in the tournament, and he's gonna have to pay up. But we wanted some guests on.
Yeah,
we had some people we wanted to talk to.
No doubt, man. Listen, yeah, I tried to book Sherman Bishop. He cowered out. Tried. Listen, he finished like this is his lake. This is his deal. This is his area, right? Just outside Tampa, just about 45 minutes from his house. Told me what he was going to do. We showed up together. Actually happened to be fishing the same area, and he completely, didn't do well. I tried to get him on. He's like, no, I don't want to go on. I don't want to embarrass myself. It's called HindSite 2020. I got to take the heat. He should be here taking the heat. He's not. It is up to this decision. He respectfully declined. And because he respectfully declined, I'm going to disrespect him. You should be on here taking the heat like me, man. Like me. But
I had to come on here after I fucking zeroed. Excuse my language. I had to lead a bit.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And so, anyway,
it happens, dude. It happens.
Yeah. So, I got more people I want to settle some things with too, man. So, some things that I'm gonna have to call out, man, a little bit. So we'll talk about it, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Hey, I do want to say though, I just to share with the family and our listeners, man. I did get a job.
Congratulations, brother.
Moving to Austin. I'm sure some of y'all saw that on my Facebook.
Yeah,
Brooke and I are in the process of getting a house, and then, man, I am really hoping to make some of those Southeast Texas tournaments, Chris Morales' group, and then kind of fish, some of the Northeast ones I really like with Mooney's group, and some of the North Texas stuff with Duke. Man, I'm just so pumped for the news. Just wanted to share with everyone because it's been a work in process. So
right on, man.
Well, where do we start, Greg? I'm sure most of the people here probably saw all your pre-fishing pictures from Harris Chain, and goodness, you were on them.
Yeah, man. You
really were.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Harris was setting up nice, man. Now look, let's kind of go back 3 weeks from there, right?
Okay.
So Harris started out with the elites. I'm sorry, started out with the elites. The elites came in, wrecked them, right?
Wrecked them.
It was, I think they were kind of like maybe the second wave of spawners coming in.
Okay.
Obviously Banana Cove, which is on Harris. It was basically the only area that had good grass. There was 100 boats out there, and I practiced that area. Just didn't really find a lot of stuff that I liked. Right?
You mean like submergent hydrilla when you say good grass, or?
Yeah, submergent hydrilla, 6 to 8 feet. Like all the guys were doing, they're ripping crankbaits and flipping. And Blake, I put you on. I showed you, man. I was able to catch them flipping.
Yep.
But to me, it was like, okay, if you want to catch like 85 inches there, then by all means you can have that area. And I'm not going to fight 100 boats, right? So I kind of knew
85 would have done you good.
It would. But again, that's kind of hitting the ceiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I know some guys went over there during the tournament and absolutely skunked. So, it was a very risky move to go in that Banana Cove. Again, that place has been absolutely slaughtered. Between the elites and then the BFLs came in, and then MLF came in 3 weeks in a row, and then our tournament, right? And then our tournament had 80 from bass. And quite frankly, I found this pattern, man. And the pattern for me was, okay, so the lake is surrounded with Kissimmee grass, right? And then Kissimmee grass, a lot of people were fishing the outside of the Kissimmee grass. Well, I kind of just out of the blue, because it was really windy, trying to get past the Kissimmee grass and then get into the cypress trees, man, which and I know there's a lot of love in there, man. I love flipping cypress. And and it was so funny. I found this pattern kind of near Banana Cove, man. And I was able to kind of flip these, rage crawls up into the first set of cypress trees, and I was getting a lot of bucks. Well, then I got in behind the cypress trees, kind of between the bank and the cypress trees, up in these knees and these pockets, man. And I would skip in a Cinco or skip in a rage crawl, and that's where the females were, man. And I mean, look, I was catching it was like every other pocket, it was every other cove or every other cypress tree was holding these big females. I'm talking about 5-6 pounders on average, man. I mean, they were just big, And so
you were in a monthly down there, right?
I was, yeah.
And what'd you end up putting in the monthly?
105, 75.
Okay, so pretty much all those were off the Harris chain. You didn't really go down to Tenor Rock or anything. I mean,
no.
maybe you did one day. I can't remember, but
I went down to Kenansville, but I didn't really upgrade.
I was going to say the majority of that 105 came off Harris.
Yes.
So I mean, you were on good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I would always get a good kicker a day. And I was anywhere between 90 and 100 inches. I mean, every single day. And that was the pattern, man. I mean, that was the pattern I was finding everywhere. It was no matter what lake I went to, no matter where I went on Harris, that was the pattern. And it was funny because Todd Patrick came up to me the day before the tournament. He was telling me what he was doing. I'm like, dude, that's the juice. Yeah. Straight up, man. Just go with that. I think you're going to be good.
Hey, congrats to Todd Patrick, by the way.
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm not going to tell you where he went, but he found the juice. You know what I mean? He found the juice, and I was actually proud of him. He figured it out on his own. He did his own thing, and he did it. Yeah. So where I caught that biggin, that freaking just giant was in this canal, and myself, Sherman, Bob Brisky, and Russ Kennedy were all in this canal. And we started out in this canal. It's a very popular canal. It's called the 9th Street Canal. Everybody knows it, right? And all the pros know it because they use it and they go in there and they get their limits, and it's full of fish.
Well, and this during the tournament, right?
This is during the tournament. Yeah. This is where we went. We jetted in there. It was 3 we were fighting 3-foot waves to get in there. I mean, the wind was blowing in. It wasn't supposed to be blowing in like that. It was supposed to be blowing out of the south. It was actually blowing out of the east, and it was just pummeling this area. Well, then a couple kayakers came in, 8 bass boats came in, and 2 John boats came in. And
just a little bit of company.
Yeah. And so 7:30 lines in, 7:45, I come out of a cove, getting ready to go off this point, and I'm throwing into, this set of cypress trees, and these kids on a John boat come flying over and throw their chatterbait over my line, and we get crossed up, right?
No way.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like,
no
listen,
way.
man. Oh, no, that's how my day started. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
I'm cool.
So you're already on tilt.
Yeah. I'm not happy, but it is what it is. And then they're jumping up and down on the John boat, blasting their music, banging their stuff all over the place. It's just a great experience so far. You know what I mean? And I asked them, I said, hey, are you guys in a tournament? And they're like, no, man, we're just out here, just fishing. I'm like, well, guys,
I bet.
I'm like, dude, yeah. I'm like, guys, look, there's a bunch of kayakers in here. We're all in a tournament. I'm just letting you guys know. I mean, it's public water. You can do whatever you want to, but I'm just kind of give you a heads up. You know what I mean? Sure. Well, they proceeded to follow myself all over the cove and then out of the cove and then start following Bob and all these other guys, Sherman and all this other stuff. And so, and then, I missed a 15 early, and then, things, and I was looking at what Sherman was doing, see what Russell's doing and Bob, and they're catching, 15s and 14s. And guys, that's not going to win a tournament, man. It was Dinkville off the bat, right?
Yeah, fair.
And again, more people coming in, and I was like, I'm out, right? I'm out. So then I got no fish on the board. I go to this creek. Blake, the creek I'm talking about is where the bear was.
Yep.
It's a spring-fed creek. I ran, it's about an hour and 15 minutes from that point. And again, the wind was blowing hard, fighting the waves to get into this area. Finally, I get into this area. I go back there. It's full of duckweed. I mean, just blown in duckweed. Then I'm like, okay, I can't see. It's clear water. I can't see anything. So I start flipping a frog. Okay. I mean, what are you doing duckweed, man? You go frogging. And I try to punch. I try to flip. I try to frog. Nowhere. Finally got this clear area. And dude, there was not a bass to be found. Like
Yep.
every bass. I mean, literally, you could put your finger in the water, at least a 15 or 16 would come in and bite it, no hands down. I mean, it was just full of fish. They were gone. So
Greg,
then,
but before you continue on, I want to talk about kind of, because I feel like we've been talking about this a lot on the past couple of weeks, and obviously like half our country, lakes are still frozen, man. But just I'm in my third season. I'm not sure exactly how long you've been kayak fishing, but man, these spring tournaments, it is so hard to plan around or know the kind of traffic you're going to get, man.
right.
I mean, it just really is. Like these Florida tournaments, it's not just day of traffic. It's like what you were talking about. It's MLF goes there,
Yep.
and I mean, it's just crazy to me. I mean, I know stuff's frozen, but at least what I've noticed is like springtime, it's boat to boat, it's kayak to kayak. It's like they're so crowded. Everybody's so excited to get back on the water.
Well, Blake, it's not. I think it's a little bit more than that. Like here at Santee, we're fishing right behind the elites, so we know this weekend is because they saw the elites on the weekend beforehand. Mm-hmm. This weekend they're going to go out and see what the elites did too. So we're going to be fighting the same thing. Look, the kayak schedule, whether it be Hobie, Bass, or KBF, always seems to fall behind the professionals. It always does. And I'm going to tell you, it affects us because we get the scraps. Like Harris listen, Harris, I think the winning bag was 94. That is not even close what Harris should have done. I'm telling you, Harris is a lake, a chain of lakes that should have at least 3 people in the hundreds. I'm not joking. You know what I mean? That could have done the bag. But
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not going to go that hard because I do not know a tournament this year that has had good weekend weather.
The weather was okay, and honestly, these fish, the weather was decent. I mean, it was a little windy in the morning, and really there wasn't like this major cold front or anything like that, man. They've been beat. This is the first tournament I can clearly say that the fish have been so beaten down that the pressure I think really got to them. I really do.
I mean, like I was talking to you about it. Like there's a event on Fork. It's Fork, man. In the spring, you're expecting 5, 6, 10 bags over 100.
Yep.
We had one guy at 100, one guy at 94. 88 is like third place. I mean, it was horrible. But I mean, it's just like the weather and the pressure and all this. There's just been a hard spring, I think, for a lot of tournaments. I look at tournaments from different states, man. It's just like the bags have not been there.
Well, I'll give you an example. The guy who won it, his name is Justin, man, did a great job, dude. I mean, I'm really great guy, by the way. Met him. Just a really cool dude. He played it smart. He went to where nobody was. Fished this lake called Trout. I didn't even know trout was even on the Harris chain. Fished this area. Literally, he circled this pond called Trout, and he just switched baits all day long, going in a circle, and he wound up getting the fish because they were unpressured. Dude,
man.
I mean, great job, man. I mean, he found what he needed to do. But again, any other day like that, dude, I don't know, like truly, if that would have held up. If we just had a little bit less pressure. I mean, it is what it is. But
those types of things are just so hard to pinpoint down. But with especially here in the South, like you just feel it, man. It's like every big boat tournament is starting up. It's spring.
Yeah,
everybody's signing up. All our kayak events are well attended, and it's just hard to get away from people, man.
We've got to convince the powers that be, especially on these tours, right? We can't be fishing behind scraps any longer, man. Like, we don't need to follow these professional tours. I'm talking about the week after, dude. Like, I've done like maybe 5 of these now.
Yeah.
Every single tournament we've done, we've been behind either the elites or MLF. Stop it. Like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Lake Murray was no different. Lake Murray was the same crap, dude. Harris chain. Like, we are like, okay, let's schedule ahead of them this next year. Okay. We don't need to be behind these guys.
Yeah. In Jim. Hey, amen, Jim.
Hey,
You know,
you can't catch.
and so
catch bass on the real foot.
I hear what you're saying, Greg, and I'm not sure that bass is ever going to get away from that. But I do want to commend like credit where it's due. I think Hobie has done a pretty decent job. The Santee Cooper thing, if you get a chance to be on Santee, I think that's just a great opportunity. Is it close in proximity to another big tournament? Yeah, but again, it's in the South. That's kind of what I was talking about. But I think they picked some lakes that are like great.
Yeah,
for
but is it
kayaks.
red? Okay, hold on. Is it Red Crest on Grand this week or next week?
Again, that's bass.
I understand. I'm talking about, dude. I'm talking about the big three.
Yeah, but like let's call it what it is. It's bass that has the worst scheduling problem. It's like
I think it's all three, dude. I think it's all three.
Man, I feel like I don't know. I think bass is.
You can't say you can't. Hold on. You can't say Hobie doesn't have that same problem. I mean, this is we're literally coming in at the day or the week after the elites were here on Santee. Okay, I mean
that's one.
They're doing it too. They're doing
one event. That's one event. I mean, we had Toledo, which always has a tournament on it, and like Toledo was fine. They have Broken Ball on the schedule. They have Dardanelle. Like I just think, and even KBF, taking lakes like Caddo and stuff.
KBF, we just had Lake Murray, and again, Lake Murray was followed by the Elite Series.
And so what I'm saying is none of them are perfect in terms of not following any other. But like there's a bass tournament every weekend, and so like if we're talking about just the pro schedule,
we're talking about the pro schedule. We're talking about pro schedule.
Okay, fair. And to me, the biggest offender.
The reason why that enhances the recreational bass fishermen watching their lake on TV, and then the next weekend they're going to try to go out there and fish the same spots that these other guys do, and try to beat them on their own water. I mean, everybody does that, right?
You're not wrong, Greg. And so, what I am saying is that the two kayak oriented trails, in my opinion, have done a better job of that than bass. I'm just calling bass the
bass
biggest,
is the worst. Bass is the worst.
They're the 100%. Biggest offender of it.
Yeah.
Like, do the other ones completely get away from it? No, but we have tons of options to fish in that regard that aren't following elite trails or anything like that. So, it's hard for me to throw the book at them or say, I wish Hobie would change this or KBF would change that, when bass is the one. It's like, oh, there's a late series there. Well, put the kayaks on there 2 weeks later. That's what it feels
okay.
Like to
so
me.
Again, look, I'm not making excuses because I mean, look, I sucked in the tournament. I mean, so Todd, what's up, buddy? Again, we were just talking about you. Congratulations. So, but let's look at it like this, man. You had 4 tournaments back to back to back to back, and we were the last trail to be on that chain. That is not cool, man. I mean, I'm telling you, the performance, if you look at those bags, there's no chance that those bags should have been, at least a bag should have been in the 100. A bag should have been in the hundreds on Harris chain.
Agreed.
Period.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, but again, I mean, look, we can talk about, I can point directly to like Banana Cove. Anybody who fished Banana Cove did not do well. Okay. That place was crushed during the entire thing. Now I'll give you here's another reason why. Like I told you the pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you the pattern during pre-fishing. Everywhere on that lake, it worked. It did. So when I left that 9th Street Canal, I started fishing the main lake behind the Kissimmee grass into the cypress trees, and I tried to get in. There was a slough. It's 100 yards long. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a very nice area between docks. There were 6 boats in that slough. 6. Okay. I was talking on the phone with Brad Case. Okay. These boats are crossing each other like this way in this little slough. The slough's maybe 10 yards wide. Maybe. It's 3 feet deep. These boats started crossing. One guy cast it over the boat, dude. Another guy's boat. Started reeling in a chatterbait. Got his chatterbait caught on the other guy's boat, and then they started having at it. I was on the phone with Brad Case when this was going on. That is this kind of crap we were dealing with, dude.
But all this to say, and quickly surmise, what's the answer, man? Like, we only have half the country. Is it just that like our kayak trails need to start picking more obscure lakes? Is it that, and like you also have to look at like the size of the field. I mean, when you got 200
here's
plus
the answer.
kayak anglers,
Here's the answer, Blake. It's a bigger issue than that.
Okay.
We got to stop chasing the spawn.
Amen.
Every pro tour and the kayak fishermen, all they want to do is chase the spawn. And and I know, I'm not I hate ripping girls off beds.
I hate it.
It's the worst. And all these guys want to do, and these TDs want to do, is have the biggest bags possible. They want to break at records. Why do you think they're at Santee this week? Because these fish are supposed to be on beds. Everybody wants to see the big girls. We got to stop chasing the spawn, dude. And that's what these tours do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not saying you're wrong from like definitely the pro side. And it's hard for me, I guess, because conceptually, like I know the northern guys want tournaments close to them, right? Just like I want tournaments close to myself. So like as it warms up, like you kind of progressively go north, but it, like you said, it's in line with the spawn. Like I want them to have a Texas tournament July. I want it to be hot as hell. No boats want to be on the lake past 10 o'clock. You got to grind them, get them out of the nastiest shit you can find because it has shade. Like, I want that. I want that bad.
Let me tell you this, man. I talk a lot. I've been down to Florida a lot. And, KBF always has the Kissimmee tournament the end of January.
Yep.
Every year for the last 3 years, I fished this tournament.
Yep.
It has absolutely sucked weather-wise. We always get cold fronts. We always get wind. We always get a bunch of crap.
It's the spring, dude. Yeah.
But listen, we had a KFL tournament all the month of December. We broke records in terms of inches, dude.
Yep.
Like records. KBF just needs to move that back a month. There's nothing wrong with fishing in December. That Kissimmee tournament should be before Christmas. That is when the biggest girls bite. That is when it just gets on. I mean, Florida turns on like you would not believe. Move that tournament over a month, dude, into the Kissimmee chain. You're going to talk about fireworks. Why does it? Literally, it is an unbelievable time to fish. Move their schedule back a month. And that way you're not having to chase the spawn. And you still have great fishing. Pre-spawn fishing, dude. These girls are hungry. They're getting ready to go on the beds. Yeah. It is action-packed. And I'm telling you this from fishing in Florida the entire month of December and January. And there's a huge difference between fishing in December and then the end of January. You want action? Move it back a month. It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm with you, Greg. I mean, Brian Howell and I talk about all the time in Texas where we get to fish 12 months a year. Thank God. We want a winter series. You can catch giants here when it's cold, like 50, 40, 50 degrees. I mean, that's like they just get enormous.
Yeah.
But it's not user friendly, man. It's not you go beat the bank and throw a topwater. I mean, it's, you got to know what you're doing. But I mean, goodness. I mean, I've seen Hal put up some ridiculous bags while it's been cold. So I want that too, man. I want that too.
So let me finish the story. Okay, so
anyway, absolutely.
Get out. I'm frustrated. So I go into the creek, and again, I'm trying to go find those bass. I'm coming out of that spring creek, and then around the corner, Mark Edwards is measuring like an 18.5. I'm like, where the hell did you find that fish? I'm like, seriously. And I was
Excuse me, Mark.
Yeah, I'm like, so he's got a limit. Plus, he's trying to call. I've got one fish, and I'm like, Mark, have the creek. I'm out, dude. Like, I'm out. Like, this creek is all yours. Have at it. I didn't want to, be on that fish. I was out of the tournament at that point. I've got like basically 2.5, 3 hours to go, and I just, just didn't feel like that I was going to be able to find the fish that I needed to win this tournament. So I get out.
Definitely called Blake Knight's Angler Counseling Services. I'm done
at that time.
Yes, at that time, you had called me.
But the phone kept on ringing and ringing and ringing, like 5 times during the day when I needed you the most, by the way, dude. So you left me hanging during that day.
Chef's kiss, baby. That's what you get for fishing a tournament an hour ahead of my time.
Yeah, exactly. So
we have business hours here, Greg. Okay, it's a very respectable business.
It was 11:30. It was like 12.
Okay, maybe I stayed up drinking until 4 in the morning. Like, not my problem.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, I told you, man. You finally picked up the phone. I'm like, dude, I need you, man. Like, I can't take this. So basically, I have got an hour to go, and I'm like, you know what, Blake? You told me just go fishing. So I just went fishing, man. I just acting like it was pre-fishing, just go fishing. I entered in this creek. I didn't fish. I fished kind of the mouth of the area. I just went into the creek, and I knew that these fish were always in the middle of the creek. So I get past this bass boat. This is so funny, man. So now I've got basically 45 minutes to go. I'm on the phone with Sherman. I'm like, dude, if I don't catch the fish in here, I don't know what else to do. My tournament's shot. And this bass boat was zigzagging through this canal, like back and forth. And I'm like, okay, he's just trying to block me and everything else. So I put the motor on high. And I get back to this area, and I was like, hey, man, I get beside him. I'm like, dude, I hate to do this to you. I got a half hour to go, man. I'm just trying to get some bass on the board. Do you mind if I get in front of you and just kind of like skip around and try to find them? He goes, oh, man, that's cool, man. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get away from my wife, man. You just go do your thing. He goes, I'll just come up behind you. I'm just looking
Greg, are you telling me that you communicated with another angler on the water and they were okay with it?
They were okay. No, this was a bass boat. A bass boat at that.
I know. I'm just talking about this because I saw a lot of posts over the past 2 weeks because what we talked about. It's so crowded, fishermen cutting me off, this, that, and the other.
Yep.
But I generally find that if you have a little conversation, hey man, what's up? You out fishing,
He was so cool.
It can be pleasant.
He was so cool. Yeah. So I'm out there about 50 yards ahead of him.
Yep.
And again, remember I told you what the pattern was.
Yep.
Cypress trees, right?
Cypress
trees. So I get into this. Now we're in a creek, man. This is my style fishing. Yep. It was a big bend. The current was there, and right at that edge of the bend was 3 sets of cypress trees. I flip in a Texas rig crawl, skip it in there. First flip, boom, 17. And the guy's watching me. He goes, there you go, man. There you go. So I'm measuring
it. Go,
Yep. Okay, so but that's bass number 2. Okay, I got 20 minutes to go. I flip in there again. Second cast, boom, 15. And the guy's like, all right, man, that's 3, bro.
How long to go? How long to go?
I had 15 minutes, man.
15 minutes.
Yep. So anyway, flip in there again, nothing. Flip in there again, nothing. Flip in there again, nothing. Take a Cinco, skip in there, nothing. I'm like, all right. So these trees are gone. So I go up about another 100 yards. Okay, I got 10 minutes to go. And again, another river bend, and like a big cypress tree had limbs that was overhanging in the water. Had to take a Cinco, side cast it in there underneath of these tree limbs onto the root ball. Boom, get another one. 14 inches comes out, man. I got one fish to freaking go, and I got like 5 minutes, dude. And the guy's like, come on, man, you could do this. And I skip casted another freaking Cinco over top of a log. It sinks. Dunk, 12.5 incher, 2 minutes to go. Get the limit, baby. 4 fish in 30 minutes, and I went freaking ballistic. It was insane. It was a small limit, dude. But you know what, dude? I was so happy, man. I was like, I cannot believe I just pulled off a limit, having one fish in the bag, and with 30 minutes to go, and finally get a limit. I finished 33rd. I crapped the bed, but man, dude, if a 33rd place finish felt so good, that was it, man. That was it. So it was fun.
Amazing story. And I want to bring this up because, Greg, you've done pretty well in some tournaments. You've had a lot of success. How often on your good days in a tournament is it just you catch them all day long?
Ooh, it's not often. I mean,
it's not often, man.
It's not often. It comes in spurts, man. You know that there's this window that you've got to take advantage of, and it's why it's so important to fish clean. But it's just you got to be ready for that time, man. You have to be ready for that time. The fish are there. They just have to bite, man.
When I've done well in tournaments, I only have one of two things. A 20-minute window where I'm about to smash. And I don't know what time that is. It's you fish hard all day and you better be engaged. Or it's one fish every 2 hours. I mean, it's just no in between. I have just never had that tournament where I go out and it's like, let me try this. Oh, 22.
Yeah.
Like I never have that magical scenario for me.
Well, here's the other call out I've got for you. So again, remember I was talking on the phone with Sherman Bishop, right?
Well, let's set the stage here because you were struggling. You had, I think, a 14-incher.
That's all.
You grinded your ass off, caught a limit. I mean, just grinded it out. Not a big limit, but you got one.
Yep.
Who did that put you above? That was.
That's a great question because apparently I found out there's a guy that happens to be on the Swamp Donkeys.
Right.
And his initials are R and K.
That sounds like Russell
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah.
He goes on there and he goes to tell Sherman, like right at the tournament was getting ready to end. He goes, "I'm so sick of this S. I'm so sick of the sheriff. And this sheriff only caught one fish. We whipped his butt. He's got Russell's got 43 inches. I've got 14, and Sherman's got 53, and Bob Brisky's got like 20, 29. And he goes up to Sherman and goes, "Hey man, Oshie."
Oshie is just putting in his commentary, showing some support.
Like he says that the sheriff's dead. Well, by that time, I just happened to call Sherman and said, "Hey, buddy, did you get your limit?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "Well, I'm telling you, dude, I just got my limit." And then Sherman goes over to Russ. He goes, "The sheriff's still alive. The sheriff's still alive." So, Russ, you've got an autographed sheriff star coming to your house, my friend. Just to let you know, I'm still the sheriff.
Very nice.
So, happened to be Russell, Sherman, and Bob. Yes, very happy about that.
The Florida guys.
Yep.
And the tournament was in Florida?
Yeah, they're Florida.
Oh, dang, it was in Florida.
Yeah, it was in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, Sherman, you should have came on to defend yourself, buddy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what happens when you don't come on. We get to say whatever we want.
To give Sherman some credit, though, man, he had his limit at the kayak, and then it happened to flop off and bounce off his kayak, and in the water it went. So feel bad for him.
Sherman is a fantastic human being. Can't say enough good things about the guy. And honestly, man, I was hoping he'd take that one down, dude. I mean, he is such a good angler. I would love to see him have some national success. And that's all I got to say about that, man. Like Sherman's God tier. Love him.
Well, anyway, so that was Harris and LeBron.
Hey, John Ellen.
LeBron James is maybe the 20th best all-time basketball player ever.
No, maybe. We're not starting this. I would
say LeBron James is probably the 20th best athlete to come out of freaking Ohio.
Right behind Todd Patrick, baby. What up?
Yeah.
Ohio dominated that tournament. 3 guys in the top 6. Hey, Todd, man, dude, can't say enough about it. Congratulations, man. Very, very proud of you. Like, that is so awesome. You did that. Yeah, seriously sick. Hey, there he is. My man.
There he is. Asking ye shall receive.
Yeah. Hey, Sherman, man, we love you. We just wanted you to come on here and say I sucked. That's it.
He won't do it.
He won't do it. He won't do it. Like, I get it, man. Like, still, Sherman, man. And I saw you go back to that area with the worm, by the way. Lesson learned, man. That's what the HindSite's about, man. That's what the HindSite's about.
I'll tell you this, man. Like, one of the things I was proud of myself on was to call that area out early. Like, those guys try to grind it there all day. I'm like, it's not going to happen here, guys. It's just not, So that was the difference, I think, of being, catching the limit and going out there and trying to find something else that was going to be able to do it rather than trying to grind that out, and trying to fight all that stuff. So I called that around 10:30, and I think that was a great move, man.
Greg, I think part of the show that, I hope our viewers enjoy is we don't have people on that sit here and say, "Oh, it was so easy." I threw my chatterbait out there and I caught him. I got 100 inches. Like, I was blessed, blah, 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 whatever. As somebody that has had, you start off the year on such a high and you've had a couple tough tournaments. you know, and I think it's fair for me to say this, but like when I was talking to you in pre-fishing, you were almost getting it in your head. I'm catching them too good in pre-fishing.
Yeah.
The tournament's going to be tough. But I was like, hey, man, like, just go fishing. And you were like, yeah, you know what? I should do that. And then you end up putting a limit together last minute. Huge confidence builder. I mean, for other people that are fishing local trails, national trails, whatever it is, how you kind of sorting that out, man? I mean, you're on top of the world. Then you have what by your standards, a disappointing tournament.
Very disappointing. Yeah.
And then, and I don't mean this one. I'm talking about like the KBF one, because like I know you really wanted to throw down on that one, and
On
you had
Lake Murray. Yeah, you're talking about Lake Murray.
Well, Murray, yeah, but even before that,
Well, Kissimmee,
Yeah,
you knew. Kissimmee, you and I both knew that I had to basically be content and satisfied with a very modest limit. You know what I mean? I wasn't on bigs. You know what I mean?
But that's right. But you still have to. How do I say this? PC enough for all of our fishermen out there that haven't come to terms with this yet. Like all of us have an ego, and when you start fishing, you're like, I think it's 100 inches to win this tournament, so I have to be on 100 inches. And the reality is, 1 out of every 14 tournaments probably takes that, and it really depends on what the tournament is.
Correct.
But you can't help but fight that, and like your own ego says, like I'm on 78, it's not enough. I'm on 84, it's not enough. Whatever it is, and so like you have to kind of mitigate those highs and lows of the season.
You have to accept it. Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll get that one kicker, or the kicker moves in or whatever. Like,
sure.
I mean, and again, conditions was conducive of the style fishing I was doing. And you have to just, bite the bullet sometimes. That's what's going to have to happen here at Santee. Like, I don't know this lake too well. I can tell you, we can get into the Santee preview, but this is going to be a weather problem, man. Come Saturday, we got 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the west, and you're going to have to mitigate. You can't fish the east side of the lake. You can't. It's going to be completely blown out. Now you're going to have to find different ways, to kind of get around that. And there is, some creeks, there's some arms, there's some areas that you can fish, and the bigs are going to be in there, but you've got to completely change your strategy.
Yeah, and I see guys saying one fish at a time, realities get a limit, and like, yes, those are all things based in reality.
Whoa. Todd Patrick, wait a minute.
Oh,
Drew Gregory committed to the Tennessee Shiners? Is that true?
Oh, little KFL breaking news here for you guys.
Wow, Todd.
But I mean, like you said, Greg, you're talking about like you got to prepare for the weather and this, that, and the other. But even in your mind, when you go out and you catch 78, 84 inches, you're like, not good enough.
Yeah.
Not enough. And
I don't want to give up too much juice, but I'll tell you this, man. This is going to be a tournament where it's going to be like, I think frustration is going to set in for a lot of anglers here at Santee.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that is not only with the weather conditions, but also too is how the lakes are being managed. We've got a lot of rain coming in tomorrow, and so we fished. I'll say we fished the south side today, and the water level is down 2 feet. There's areas.
Wow.
There is. Yeah. Wow. I mean, honestly, if you looked at the water line, Brad says a foot. So whatever, it's down. Okay. Majority of these places that you could easily get into, you can't get into. And
sure.
And even Davey Height said, when he lives here, like the South Lakes, if it's down like this, it's going to fish like crap. Well, guess what? Today it fished like crap. I mean, it did. It fished horribly today. You know what I mean? Which it is what it is. But hopefully that lake will come up, and then the fish will start moving in. But guys, like I heard that these fish were on beds. They're not on beds now. On the south side, the major cold front kind of pushed them off. So we're kind of bewildered. We're kind of sitting there looking at each other going, what do we do? You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is I think a lot of people are going to be in the same place fishing, trying to fish for the same fish. And because of weather conditions, and then the south side of that lake might be completely taken out, just like it was for the elites.
Yeah,
just
so
like for the elites.
So like you're going to this tournament thinking all these things, but you are talking about 20 plus mile an hour winds. And
right, come on here.
And I think this is just a thing that happens when we think about tournaments. Like Greg, I talked to you a month ago, right? And you said Santee Cooper is going to take 110. I hope
I thought it was going to be a record breaker.
Yeah. I don't think I'm making this up. 110 a day.
Yeah.
To win that tournament.
Yep.
And it still could be. Like we're not ruling that out, but I just for the people in chat, I'm gonna give y'all my tournament breakdown this year. I have fished 3 tournaments. I have cashed checks in 2 of them. I have not caught a limit in a tournament yet.
186.
I fished a 2-day national event, did not catch a limit either day, and got 7th. And then I fished Palestine with North Texas, did not catch a limit, and got 11th. If I caught a limit, I'd have 3rd. Like, no matter what you're thinking this lake can produce, it's just crazy, man. I mean, it just blows my mind.
So I'm gonna talk to Brian.
Oh, the professor.
He's here, man. You talk about pre-fishing king. This guy put up 118 inches in Florida in 3 days. It's incredible.
Mr. Brad Case. Welcome. Yeah. Dude, first of all, before you get started on the fishing, how is the body feeling? We know you had a bad spill.
Oh, February was not my month.
Mm-hmm.
Start off, I smushed a finger on Thursday, fall through the deck on Friday.
Right.
3 trips to the emergency room, 3 cracked ribs, a lumbar, and the shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, and probably a contusion on the left arm. The arm is the only thing really bothering me now, but I tell you, I spent almost 4 weeks in a lounge chair or lounge chairs at these tournaments just to be able to fish, if you call it fishing, while I'm out there. And it does, injuries do affect your mentality for fishing.
Sure.
No matter what you think, it will. It does. The pain will get to you, whether you want it to or not.
Mm-hmm.
And you get yourself gets disappointed about it, and you try not to, but it's going to happen. It's still there.
It's a mental game, my man.
Yeah.
It's a mental game.
The Harris chain, I felt good. Knew I had some numbers, but still didn't get past the 75, 75 and 3/4. But I had a lot of good people fishing right there beside me. I mean, Drew Gregory, Jim Davis, several other good guys. And they were all struggling too. And Drew just happened to put the bait in front of a 23 that helped him out. But that's what it takes.
And that's what we call fishing. That's what we call fishing.
And Jim catches a 19 there in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's just you just got to keep you just got to keep grinding. But this tournament here, because of the wind and because of the fact that we're going to go, a lot of these guys, I think, Drew Cook sight fished a ton to get his bag, dude, over 105 pounds. Okay, you're not going to be able to sight fish Saturday unless you find a pocket or cove that is not completely affected by the wind. And it's very few and far between, unless you're like on a creek that's kind of angled correctly. The guys that are trying to practice for sight fishing are going to have a rude awakening come Saturday, because that wind is going to churn up the water, and it's going to be dirty. It's going to be like fork fishing in Caney, dude, like bed fishing. You're not going to be able to see the beds. It's just it's going to be completely cast in hope, you know what I mean? And hopefully hook into one.
Hey, John Mooney, see you.
I do want to, and Greg, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I do want to take some time to let Brad Case know that, like, there's some people out there definitely sympathizing with the injuries and man, we all hope, speedy recovery, that you get back to Brad Case normal, whatever that is, man.
I would have said Harris Chain was pretty close to it. And I look at it differently, though. We're talking about 100 inches might take it to win. I look at what it's going to take me to keep me in the money, maybe keep me in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I've been doing it for several years. I know I can't be first all the time. It's fun, and also just to have fun and to be there with fish with the other guys. And I could say like the Classic, which I fished, and I happened to be staying in the same house that Johnny was staying in.
Yeah.
And leading that first day. So the second day, I decided not to fish. I went and filmed and took pictures of Johnny fishing. I mean, I didn't have enough fish, so why fish?
Yeah.
Why put myself
you're
fanning in interfering with somebody else that already had 5 fish limits?
Hey, I want to take a moment, because what Brad said, that is a thing that I love about kayak fishermen dearly, and something I try to practice. And I know it's hard too, especially like when you paid for an event. But like when I shit the bed, excuse my language, at the Hobie on Toledo, I did not fish the second day. I wanted to go fish a new area. I wanted to catch fish. But man, you could be really hurting somebody or taking away from their limit.
Yeah.
And just hearing that even the OGs, the best kayak fishermen still do that. Just it brings a little pride to myself and a little joy in my heart that we all still, revere, no matter who you are, and I had some great experiences on Fork with that when I was in that tournament. Nate Gloria, who had won on Fork twice, was actually, allowing me to fish areas I wanted to fish and stuff in front of him. So very cool aspect of the kayak community. Love that.
Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, it's old school. It's the way to go, man, for sure. But again, it's going to be a crapshoot, man. I think it's going to be up in the air, man. I can't even predict what's going to happen. I mean,
I see some of the predictions coming in. I'm still thinking about 94 both days. That might be give or take an inch or two.
Yeah,
it's just due to the wind, the weather.
Yep.
And then somebody may get lucky and get a 24 or 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just that 124 and they don't have any others to back it up, it's going to put them in the money, maybe.
So 2 years ago, I had an opportunity to fish KBF, and we had the same similar conditions, man. It was the same stuff. It was 30-mile-an-hour winds out of the west, and it wrecked this place. I mean, it was nasty.
Well, I mean, but let's talk about that. Like, you two guys are there. You've had maybe a day to look at the lake. I'm seeing the predictions come in, 95, 105. I mean, that's a 200-inch average. And that's what we're talking about. It's the fallacy. You go into these tournaments, you think it's 200 to win every time you fish a 2-day tournament. What's the reality? I think 94 is a great bet, 94 a day. But I mean, what are your feelings on it, Greg? Where are you at?
I think it's gonna be good. I think if you get 94 a day, I think you're gonna do it. I'll venture to say this. I think Saturday, if you get a limit, you're in it. I think if you get a limit, you could win the tournament on Sunday. Yep.
You're just gonna have to get a limit both days. That's gonna be the key factor. There's gonna be a lot to get a limit one day and not the next day.
Okay, but we're talking about the winning bag, and if Brad wants. If he wants to get on the bet, rather than take a bet on how you fish, Greg, me, you, and Mr. Case here can take a little bet on what's the winning bag. And whoever's furthest away has to pay for the baits.
Okay.
If Brad agrees, he's got to agree.
What baits?
We typically do like $50. It's just like, because that's how much like most sites free shipping are. So that way, no matter where the winner is, you can ship it to them for free. And then it's just $50 worth of baits of your choice. If you go with $55 or $70, that's up to you, man. I guess it depends on how much you like the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll let the guest go first. What do you think is going to be the winning bag?
2-day total.
94 a day, right?
Yep, I'm still going 94 a day. It might be some change there, but so that's 180.
188, right?
188 and a quarter. Let's do it that way.
188 and a quarter. Okay. Greg, where you at?
Okay, so.
And I won't like prices right you or anything.
No. Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm looking like this. 25-mile-an-hour winds out of the west.
Mm-hmm.
I think 92 is good on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's going to find 92. The problem is this. It's going to be 60 degrees. 59 degrees Sunday.
Okay.
So I think 92, 89 is going to be right there. Okay. I don't think it's going to be 188. I think it's going to be like 182.
Okay. And as like not to my advantage as this is, I think it's going to take about 185 and a half. I am going pretty much
high end, huh?
But I gave y'all each of the ends. If it's low or high, y'all get it. For me, it's in the middle.
Yeah.
So like I put myself at the disadvantage, but I think y'all are in the ballpark, and we may get absolutely blown out here, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they may go way high, and Brad just wins this easy, and then you'd be the furthest away. But
let me just say this: I will be shocked. I would be shocked to see anything near 200. I mean, again, this is just based on my history here. Again, it's very limited, very limited. Yep. But I do know what cold fronts and wind can do to this lake. It shuts it down. It can shut it down. Now, some of these guys, these locals, some of these locals can, that know the tricks and the juice. But I think the guys that are trying to bed fish are going to have a very hard time this weekend.
And I'm just saying 185 and a half. That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Very close to what Jerry T said. Jerry T said 186.
Yeah.
And I think that's realistic because
we're all kind of in the same area.
I'm with Greg that I think the winner will have a day that's like 98, and then he'll have like an 84 or something like that. Like I think that's especially because I think how it might work is that people will find some bedding fish, but they don't really know they're bedding fish. They're fan casting. Man, look at this. Look at James Ridenour. Sticking to 201 inches.
I don't see it. Not from one guy. I see like somebody's going to have a big bag on Saturday and somebody will have a big bag on Sunday.
Yes.
But putting that together, like Blake said, I don't think that's going to happen. These fish are moving, man. These fish are moving, dude.
James, I'm so confident that won't happen. Like you can, PM me for side bets, Greg and I are betting machines. Like,
yeah,
you want a little action, man.
We'll throw it down. Yeah,
we'll take
exactly. I'm a market maker, man. I'll take the other side of everything. Just give me the spread.
Well, I think, while we have Brad on and yourself, I think we'd like to know. You guys fish Santee today without giving away, juice or anything else?
No juice to give away.
No juice. Talk to us about like how is it not only like fishing but like in the state? How's the Santee Cooper experience, man?
Well, we've been here 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, it's Santee, man. There's not a lot around. It's not like it's a wild town or big to do. It's all the lake. It's golfing and fishing, which is phenomenal, but it's not.
I was going to say your wet dream, or
yeah, but it's not exactly. But it's not really like this. You go on the night at the town and all that stuff, man. But it's a great area. Again, like I've been in Florida, on the the spine of Florida. It's nice to be back. It's in a different scenery, and it's just concentrate on fishing, and it's nice, man. It's the campground's nice. The people are nice, man.
It's great here.
Yeah.
It'll be my 6th tournament here on a national level.
Yeah.
So, and I usually fish pretty much the same spot. I wasn't feeling good about it. I could get 5 fish there, and my kicker will be 17 inches. That's how bad it is right now for me.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm going like, that's not going to be good. Put me about 75 to 77, maybe if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw today being caught. And remember, free fish is not what you catch; it's also what people catch around you. If you watch the boaters and stuff.
Amen. If you could teach Greg that lesson, that'd be great.
But
I do wax the floor.
Yeah, so a lot of times I just sitting there act like I'm eating a sandwich watching them fish and let them do my pre-fishing for me.
Okay.
I go that route.
Yeah. I mean that's.
But I'll always be with small fish everywhere. Small fish.
Yeah, and I talked to some guys that pre-fished today too. Limits were hard to come by today, and there was some good kickers. Greg Crass from Rhode Island caught a 23 today. So I mean,
nice. Congrats.
Yep.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yep. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens, man.
Yeah, I think Mel Ash got about a 21 or 22 today.
Yeah.
A good fish.
Hey, I like Mel, man. He's a cool guy.
And this is one of his home lakes.
Yep.
As he would call it that.
Yeah.
So,
I was surprised how clear the bottom lake was today. It was crystal clear.
Well, yeah, I mean, break that down for us. So Santee Cooper, like all of us are like, oh, it's Santee Cooper. That's Lake Santee Cooper, but it's not.
It's a river system with two major lakes. It's Lake Marion and Lake Moultrie, right?
And so Marion is the northern lake.
Northern lake, right? And that's a little bit dirtier. But Moultrie was very clean. I mean, in spots. I mean, it was crystal clear.
Some places you think it even had a green tint to it. You would swear you were on the Gulf Coast, on the beaches, on the west side of Florida.
Yeah.
That's how clear it looked.
Yeah, it was very, very clear. Yeah.
And it had, like I said, a light green tint to it. So I'm up there like, am I in the right place?
Yeah, because I'm not used to seeing that. Usually it's the opposite. Usually the northern lakes are clear up in the north, and then the southern lake is a little bit churned up and dirty. But I was shocked. And by the way, they're rolling current through the main canals. They're pulling so much current through this. If a kayak was in the canal, they will never get out. It was it was rolling that quick.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so Brett, I do have a question for you for the people that have hung in there this long. Man, you have fished tons of kayak tournaments. I gotta know, man, how does Brad case, or what baits, or what are you looking for? Like, how do you break down a new fishery, man? I mean, you fish tournaments all over. You did very, very well in the Bassmasters Classic last year. I mean, if you're willing to, share the tools of the trade, man, like, I think me and the viewers would love to know, like, what is Brad Case doing?
Well, Brad Case usually looks for the backwater, the most dirtiest, ugliest, horrible place you don't want to go. That's where I'm going to usually be with a frog. If I can't find that, or it's like chocolate milk and the fish can't see the bait either. If I can't see the bait, they can't see the bait.
Right.
I'm looking for something else, and I can go anywhere from cranking to worming. It doesn't matter to me. I just have to find what it's going to be. And it was funny. You mentioned the championship 2 years ago, because we just got through with this year's.
Yeah, right.
Awesome Kingdom. The two of the spots I pre-fished was where Mark and Joe were fishing. Turned out fishing, putting up the numbers.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I made a few casts where Joe caught all his fish, didn't do anything. I saw the fish there, but I couldn't get them to hit for me.
Right.
And then Mark just pulled out and laid in on them right there at the ram.
He did, yeah, he did.
And me, people ask me where I'm going. I made a circle with my finger, turned my back to the map, and stuck the finger down on the map and said, I'm going there. And it says, no, I said, yep. And I looked, I said, okay, I'll be there in the morning. And I happened to find one little stop that held a lot of fish on it.
I mean, that's an interesting technique. I think Greg might be really good at that, as good as he is at pre-fishing. I think Greg needs to stop fishing when he's pre-fishing. I mean, Greg just Greg, when you just go fishing, you might be the best fisherman I know. But when you're fishing stuff in a tournament, it's like it's crapshoot, man.
Dude, straight up, man. Like, if any indication of how this pre-fishing day went for me,
Yeah,
then your boy's gonna be holding the BOS trophy come this weekend.
my man.
Pre-fishing for me sucked.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and the reason I'm asking you that, Brad, is because Greg and I recently had a conversation about Guillermo. I've been telling Greg, I was like, man, I don't know what it is that makes Guillermo so good. Like, he just seems to get in the nastiest stuff and just pushes back in it. He doesn't care what everybody else is doing. He seems to find these giant fish that are there for the taking, but nobody else like puts in the work or like does that.
well,
And
it's something that
Greg, you got to fish with Guillermo. I mean,
I fished with him this past 2 days ago.
Yeah, we both had a chance to fish with him.
And then he caught the one of the 24s I caught on Tuesday.
there you go. I mean,
So he caught the 24 that I caught on Tuesday.
yeah.
But which was good. It just showed it moved about 30 yards, I think he said, from where the spot I showed him, and had put on about 6 ounces. So, but choosing baits is you're trying to. It depends on what you're comfortable with as to what the fish are hitting.
No,
Yeah.
we don't care about that. What is Brad Case doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, funny part is I found a crankbait floating 2 days before Possum Kingdom. I decided, well, if it's floating, there's a reason for it to be floating. They must have been hitting it and they lost it. I put it on and caught 3 of the bass right there to help me finish out my limit that evening. And by the time I got through, I had 91 inches. And I'm getting ready to call the day. And I'm talking with Clint. And he said, well, let's go try one more. We got about 45 minutes left. He said, let's go back over. I'm going to go over and try the point. I said, okay, I'm going to flank you left or right, one side or the other, whatever, it doesn't matter, back 20 yards or so. Okay. And as we're going across the cove, he says, I changed my mind. I'm going after the 20 I missed earlier. I said, all right, go for it. And I decided to use a bomber, deep diving bomber. And 3 casts, nothing happened. The 4th one, there's only one stop that I was casting by, and it had a little fork in the top. It's one of those stobs that has a magnet in it for line. And on that 4th cast, my bait is 4 yards to the left, but that line gets sucked right to that fork. No matter how I try to get it off that fork, that bait ended up going straight to the fork and hung. So I jerked, trying to get that bait off that fork, and it was only about 2 inches out of the water. And it would move back and forth about a foot, splashing and everything. And this is day 1. I had 91 inches at the time period. I think maybe 92 by then. And so I'm just sitting there looking, and I'm watching Clint down there trying to get that 20 that he missed. And all of a sudden I hear a big blow up. I look back, and I'm looking around. I said, well, what did it blow up on? I know I got to get ready. I got to go over and get this bait, and I don't worry about it. And I look, I don't see my bait hanging off that fork anymore. So I reel up the slack, and about that time, the rod almost gets jerked out of my hand. The fish is making a run down the bank. It turned out adding 5 inches to me to make me at 97. It was a 23-incher.
That's cool.
And the hook that had to have been the one that was in the tree was straight as your pencil. I says, I couldn't believe that. Just sitting there watching the bait, trying to get it off, knowing you're going to have to paddle up there to get it off, and all of a sudden the fish takes it for you.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so cool, man.
And so I knew I had to use crankbaits those days. I tried the grass hog, which is a red line lures, like a chatterbait.
Yep.
And I caught a few fish on it, but not much on size. Tried the worm. Okay, I caught first 20 on the worm, and and a 16 right behind it.
Yeah, Brad, but we ain't talking about like that tournament specifically. I mean, like, you did amazing at that tournament, and like we go into that for hours. I'm talking about you go state to state, I mean, just all over, like county to county, lake to lake. What are, when you're breaking down all this water, man, like, you don't have any go-to? Because, like, I would say I do. I'd say Greg does. I'd say Brian Howell does. I'd even say Guillermo does. I mean, like it ain't like I go everywhere and I throw a crank.
My go-to would be the grass hog in a bedding brim color.
Yeah.
Or depending on where I'm north or south, it's going to be either a green sunfish to a black shad, and that black shad swim bait, grass hog, chatterbait can also double as a what they would call a crappie color too. White,
yeah,
white,
sure. I
white
mean, chatterbait it's the best bait. We all know it. I don't know why anybody's fighting
from there. I'll go with a swim bait, paddle tail swim bait.
Oh, really? Okay, that surprises me. I didn't know you're a swim bait guy.
So, and if I need to push down and go a little deeper, I'll use a paddle tail swim bait with an underspin, weighted hook with an underspin.
I mean, are you mag
not
draft
that
guy?
big? No, not that big.
Oh, come on, bro.
I got some. I do have some. I caught a few 4-pounders on them.
Yep. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yep.
But sometimes you want 5 fish, and some of those 5 fish will look at that and they say, I don't know if I want to food with that today.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, dude, we're over an hour and 15 minutes basically. Let's
yeah, no, I just wanted for the people to know. I mean, Brad Case, man, like we don't get him on often.
Yeah, man.
Forever.
Dude, so hey, listen, we are full for the KBBT bracket. That bracket announcement comes actually tomorrow, dude.
It does.
We have to pull the names out of that bracket for tomorrow. We've got I cut it off at 16, so that last chance qualifier will be drawn tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. And then, man, after this bracket tournament's over, dude, we got the KBBT National Championship coming up next month. That's gonna be fun, man. And then we get ready for the KFL, dude. It's gonna be insane. We got so much going on, bro. It's gonna be great.
Man, so much stuff. We are so looking forward to how you boys do this weekend at Santee.
Yeah. Keep it out, Attorney X, man. We'll see what happens. And dude, congratulations on your job, man. We're so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So happy.
Thank you. Huge shout out to everybody that came on, hung out, commented. Like, guys, we really, really appreciate that. We got the YouTube
there.
Yep.
Yeah. We got the YouTube channel over there at Motion Sports. Go give it a follow, subscribe if you would. Like, we would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, man, wow. Guys, good luck this weekend. I'm not going to be fishing, so it's all on y'all.
We'll see how it goes, man.
185.5. That's where we're at.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, boys, we're out of here.
We got a question here. KBT random draw team tournament. Ooh.
That will be later after the championship, dude. Yeah, that's going to be later.
I would love that.
Yep. Yeah. That's going to be later.
Can't have
random draw team tournament would be nice.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
Yep. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that later, Jerry, for sure.
And Greg, I mean, pardon me for saying so, but there was I think an angler a little worried about the North bracket filling up, but it filled up right quick, didn't it?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Nice and filled up.
Yep, we are good to go, man.
Hey, I cannot wait to see those guys in the North get it on, man. Dude, I love when I'm judging, seeing them smallmouth come in. Ooh.
Well, another thing, I mean, they should be almost done next month with their ice out. So,
yeah,
hopefully, things will start opening up, and then the national championship is going to be right around that time. Actually a little bit past their ice out. So it's gonna be good. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have Northern bracket, national championship, and then a random team tournament all coming up.
Yep, it'll be good.
It's going to be great. Guys,
sure.
Thank y'all for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it. Oshi, huge fan. Appreciates all you guys coming in. So thank y'all. Guys, we're out, man.
We're out.
Follow Greg this weekend it's going to be on Tourney X. It's a Hobie event. So follow
Brad, Matt, Tony, all these guys, man. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good one, y'all. Santee Cooper. Can't wait.
Yeah,
cheers.
keep the lines wet, guys.
All right, man.
Yeah, keep them wet.